There are like dozens, if not hundreds, of reviews of the Apple Watch Ultra 2 on YouTube, but as a physician and also as someone who never used a smartwatch before, I believe I have a unique perspective I would like to share. I have been using this watch for almost like 3 weeks now, and oh boy, I have a lot of things to say about it. So let's get into it. So as usual, I'm going to divide this review into 5 main parts. I'm going to start with the build quality, and then I'm going to talk about the display, performance, and the features of the Apple Watch, the battery life, and I'm going to finish up the review with the price and if it is worth it or not. So starting with the build quality, this watch is really solid. It's made of titanium and it's like the biggest Apple Watch you can get. It depends on your wrist size, but it doesn't like look ridiculous on me. It is a little bit on the heavier side, but you kind of get used to it as you wear it for a couple of days. This watch comes in 2 colors. Last year they released the natural titanium one, which was the one I got, and also last month they released another one, which is the black titanium, which really looks cool, but this is the one I went with, the natural titanium, and that's just my personal preference. Apple marketed this watch as for like sport, for athletes. You can dive in water up to 100 meters, so it's definitely waterproof, water resistance, and also dust resistance. You can do some crazy stuff with it. So I'm not really surprised that so far I didn't get any scratches on it. I feel like overall I have been careful with it, although I think you're gonna get a scratch, especially the display. I didn't put any screen protectors on it, so I'll see how it performs over the next few months, but so far it looks as if it is like literally new, which is awesome. This watch has 3 buttons. The first one is the crown, which you can use to scroll through the menus, and also you can use it as a button, which when you click it, it opens the apps menu, or what Apple calls it, the dock. Just below that button is another button that can be used to open the controls. From there you can control the Wi-Fi, put an airplane mode, etc. The third button is the action button, and this is the button that people talk about the most. It can be customized to different actions, but mine personally, I just use it to start a workout. But I accidentally multiple times started a new workout with the buttons, which is... There are a bunch of bands you can choose from. The bands I went with is the Ocean band. It is comfortable, it looks great. It's like a $100. I'm not the biggest fan of the holes here, but I guess it is designed for diving and they need that for some reason. One thing I noticed is that the bands have these metals here that when I'm typing, it rubs against my laptop, which is kind of annoying and also is kind of nitpicking, but hey, if it is like $100 band for $800 watch, you know. The display on the Apple Watch Ultra 2 is really nice. It is a 49mm display. I guess this is like the biggest display they can fit on someone's wrist. But other than that, is really bright. It's one of the brightest display in a device, not just an Apple device. It is 3000 nits, but in real life, this really comes in handy when you are outside, out and about, on direct sunlight. While I was testing this watch, I was comparing it to the iPhone 12, which I was using, and comparing them side to sides is very noticeable. The difference is very noticeable. Now I have upgraded to the iPhone 16 Pro, and looking at them side to side, maybe I will not see a big difference, but still, this is like 2000 nits, and the Apple Watch Ultra 3000 nits. So it is even brighter than the iPhone itself, which is very, very nice. Stay tuned for the review for the iPhone 16 Pro Max. Subscribe. The other cool feature they have is the always on display, which is make it easier to glance on notifications or the time without the need to fully wake up the display. Of course, this nice screen has to be protected, so they made this raised lip all the way around the display, protecting from scratches and damage. One thing that's disappointing about the display is the refresh rate. I think it goes up to 60 hertz. Again, given that is $800, I would expect it up to 120. And also I would expect it, the display, when it is on always on display mode, is to go low, very low, like 1 hertz per minute, because there is no need for it to refresh multiple times, and which can drain the battery. So if it went down to like 1 hertz, that will really save up the battery. So hopefully this is feature we can see in future Apple Watches, especially the Apple Watch Ultra 3. Although I'm a little disappointed about the refresh rate, I'm not too disappointed about the performance of the Apple Watch Ultra 2. The performance is really solid. It has the S9 chip, which is a faster chip compared to previous models. I'm probably not making the most out of this performance. Maybe I use it to track my workouts, for example. When I'm taking a walk outside, for example, I use it to track that, use it to track my steps, more accurate than the iPhone. And also I use it to track my gym sessions, although I don't think it is the most accurate way to track those. So I usually just log it myself on an app I'm using. But it's kind of fun to know your heart rate while you are working out, stuff like that. And also sometimes like the Apple Watch has like an auto workout detection. Sometimes, oh, are you working out? I was like, no, I'm just like taking up the stairs. But the good thing about auto workout detection is able to go backwards. Let's say you started like a workout, start running, and 20 minutes into your run, the auto workout detection kicked in. It is able to record those 20 minutes into your workout, although you didn't start the workout until 20 minutes into it, which is kind of cool. But also that comes with the downside that sometimes it accidentally gets triggered, but I guess is something work in progress for Apple. Of course, there are other workouts you can track: running, diving, you name it. Especially for those who are into hiking, running, it has a dual frequency GPS, meaning it is able to track your locations and where you are more accurately, which is helpful, especially for hiking. I don't think I'm making the most out of it. As I mentioned, my use is very simple: tracking workouts, checking the time, checking notifications, which sometimes can get overwhelming, and sometimes I usually keep it on silent. So other ways I try to use it is as an alarm. The speaker on it is not very loud, so the haptics, if you are someone who is able to wake up by haptics, I personally just use my phone as an alarm so far. Maybe I will change in the future. Regarding sleep tracking, for the first 1 to 2 weeks after I got the watch, I started sleeping with it, but eventually I found myself more often wanted to take it off before I sleep. I find it a little bit annoying. Sometimes the screen turn on accidentally while I'm trying to sleep. And also just having something on my wrist while I'm trying to sleep is just kind of uncomfortable. So I usually just take it off. This is kind of unpopular opinion, but I don't think sleep tracking is very helpful, because if I slept well at night, I will feel refreshed in the morning. If not, then I didn't sleep the enough hours I need to sleep. I know that. Like I know I slept around midnight and I woke up at 8 a.m. So that's 8 hours of sleep. So that's fine. But if I slept for only 4 hours, I know that I need to sleep more. Just weighing the pros and cons, I feel like it is not worth it, so I just take it off. The other health feature of the Apple Watch, I feel at this point this deserve like a separate video. Other features like recording ECG, heart rhythm. They also added sleep apnea testing, which is cool, and I think in the future this has a really big potential. But now I think it's just something fun we experiment with. So let me know in the comments if you would like me to explore more of the health features of the Apple Watch. One more feature is unique to the Apple Watch is having a speaker. The speakers, of course, you'd expect. This is a watch, it's very small. You will not expect the best, highest quality speakers you will expect from a phone or from a dedicated speaker. But I think it is something. You can use it as a siren, as a safety feature. If you got lost, you can play the siren, and that can help people to find you and get you help. And the other way, you can use it to play music. It's not that loud, so I don't know why you would use this. But you have it if you want to. Just bear in mind that this may drain the battery more quickly than expected. Speaking of battery, Apple claimed that the battery life for the Apple Watch Ultra 2 is up to 18 hours and also up to 36 hours on normal use. What qualify as a normal use, who knows? However, on my own personal experience, I think that is kind of accurate. I'm able to go without charging for 2 days, sometimes 3 days. Another unpopular opinion, I wish it has a USB port in it so I can charge it with USB-C, but it comes up with its own wireless charger, which charges it relatively fast. Apple claims that it goes from 0 to 80% in about an hour, which is really good, and in my experience that is kind of accurate. And charging is not as big of a hassle for me because, as I mentioned, I don't sleep with it, so I just throw it on the charger at night if I would like to. Sometimes if I'm just chilling on the couch, I just put it on the charger and it's charged. I would give it a solid B+. And the Apple Watch Ultra 2 comparing to the Apple Ultra 1 is kind of, they are very similar. In the new one, you may find like the display is brighter, the dual frequency GPS, which I mentioned earlier, and also has on-device Siri, meaning you don't need your iPhone to talk to Siri on the new Ultra Watch 2. So in conclusion, I think the Apple Watch Ultra I think it is one of the best smartwatch you can get, although the price of $800 is a little bit onto the higher side. I think it's kind of expensive. If you are someone who would like a smartwatch, good battery life, good build quality, integrate really well with the iPhone and other devices you have, this is the one to go with. And also able to track your workouts, makes it like worth it to some extent. But I think it is just more of a fun device you can play with. Maybe fashion, who knows? It looks good, I think. So that's for this video. Subscribe and also subscribe to see the review of the new iPhone. And we'll see you in the next one. Bye.